Are scientists unbiased? Earlier, we took a look at some of the data that was distributed from East Anglia University and discovered that some of the scientists there had actually taken it and changed it in order to fit their prescribed scenario. So we do know that, at least in some cases, scientists are willing to even exchange their scientific integrity for political ideas. Scientists, teachers, and professors all have a conflict of interest. But how? Well, no one is allowed to disagree with the prescribed ideas. And what happens if you do? Well, first of all, you lose your influence. If you're a scientist and you're trying to get your material published in, let's say, a scientific journal, you will more than likely completely lose that privilege. Number two is loss of position. And this is happening actually quite frequently now. And this can include also the loss of job with your resume having a permanent mark on it. So it'll be very, very difficult to get a job anywhere. Now, for more information on this type of thing that is happening and that actually has happened in the past, I do recommend the Icons of Evolution, the documentary that was presented and also Expelled by Ben Stein. Both of those documents and facts where teachers lost their jobs or their positions because they disagreed with the theory of evolution. Well, in America, there is the equivalent to an academic gulag. Now, what is the gulag? A gulag, for those of you that are familiar with this, was where in the Soviet Union, if you did not agree with the politics of the nation, they just shipped you up into Siberia where you would never be heard from again, into what is known as the Gulag. Well, we have that same type of thing, except in the academic and scientific areas. So if you are not agreeing with what is prescribed to you, you can have the equivalent to an academic gulag where you're shipped off to and never heard from again. So, all teachers, scientists, professors must have a conflict of interest, whether they like it or not. That is, they are not able to say anything against evolution if they desire to keep their position, influence, or job. Well, how do we see this work out in the laboratory or classroom? Well, any scientific evidence that even hints at being in conflict with the theory of evolution can never be discussed. And personally, I've actually talked to people that are going to a state university close to where I live, and they are not, even the students are not allowed to discuss anything that conflicts with the theory. So students are never able to see all of the evidence that contradicts the theory. So only one side of the debate is ever heard. Students are never allowed to hear the other side of the argument. What do we see in the classroom or the laboratory? Well, ages from radiometric dating methods are discarded. If they do not agree with the prescribed ideas, then they are thrown out. So let's say you have a layer of Earth that is supposed to be 10 million years old, according to evolution, and let's say one of the measurements actually comes out to be a half a billion years old, and another measurement comes out to be less than 1 million years old, then those will be thrown out, and the ones that are kept are the ones that agree with the pre preconceived ideas of what the actual age should be. Scientific assumptions are changed if the pre-agreed upon assumptions do not line up with evolution. So let's say fossils are out of order, for instance. Okay, then reasons are given for this instead of just simply discarding the theory, which should happen if fossils are in the wrong layers. Then obviously the theory, well, it's suspect at best. But instead, there are a lot of well, different reasons given for that instead of admitting any kind of a defeat. Because evolution is the only thing that is allowed in the books and the scientific journals, then everything regarding the subject is much more susceptible to frauds, fixed, that is, predetermined results, and junk science. The theory of evolution becomes a heads I win and tails you lose scenario. Example, as I just mentioned, is out of order fossils. Okay. Also the formation of life. In other words, if you say, well, evolutionists or scientists have never come up with an idea of how life could have formed by itself, then the answer to that can simply be, well, it just did. The second law of thermodynamics, there's a number of reasons attempted to explain away that as well, and so on and so forth. So nothing can be found or not found that will disprove the theory of evolution. So because scientists, teachers, professors, and so on have to have a conflict of interest or they'll lose their job, then everything, including the textbooks, has a very strong slant towards supporting evolution, even though the scientific evidence is in stark contrast to that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.